As the space goes on, our people, they'll come up in here. For those that want to actually conversate, they'll come up here and talk and whatnot. And for those that just want to listen, they'll come up here and listen as well too. But yeah, man, I've been seeing. I saw the video a couple days ago um, where you had this woman, Hispanic woman. She was up in the actual subway in New York City, and she's selling food and she's talking and this and that or whatever. And this article that I'm going to share with tonight up in the space and talk about. Shout out to our people that's coming in YouTube as well too. The guys, when you do get to the spot over there in YouTube, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, share, like, and comment on tonight's broadcast. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe on tonight's broadcast. But it just got me thinking, man, that you have a ton of migrants still coming up in there. They have no employment, they have no skill, any labor, or whatnot, and they're going straight to the subway and they're trying to supplement an income. It's like you got people and you're wondering how. We know how expensive New York City is. You can't just show up to New York City and not have any money in your pocket and expect to make it, which in the case a lot of these migrants are doing that. So since they have no money, they're just showing up to New York City. They've been dropped off on buses and airplanes and everything else. That means that they have to be financed by the government. The government is the ones that's actually taking care of them. So you can't just show up to a city like New York. Hell, you can't show up to any city now in America and be flat broke and think that you're gonna make it. I don't care. It could be a town of 500 people. If you don't have any money in your pocket, hey man, you in some serious trouble. Go ahead, DJ. You got it.
Yeah, hopefully y'all can hear me. I probably just got to speak up. It's true. We can't show up to New York without no money in our pocket, but they can. And here's the reason why. We already know they somewhat being footed by the government. The other thing is, too, they got their own ethnical infrastructure. Matter of fact, let me read my mic. This is my family.
Go ahead. Go ahead. When you get a chance, come back up or whatever, man. Shout out to Squirrel. I see my man Squirrel's up in here as well too. So shout out to Squirrel. Shout out to Michael Scream. Shout out to Lizette. Yeah, and the guys up the title. That's what we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about this migrant situation, which you got a bunch of migrants up in the subways in New York City, sitting up in there, and they are over flooding it. They get warnings by the police officers, yet they still come back. And we're gonna be talking about GloRilla. Oh man, these female rappers are late, man. They just whether it's the one sexy red or it's Suki Hana. This one here telling the chicks to be as toxic as you can in your 20s. Like, yeah, girls, go and be just as toxic as you can in your 20s because everything in your 20s is gonna be forgotten. Like, look, people talk about the body count, that's one thing, but like somebody told her and replied to, like, yeah, there's things that can happen in your 20s that, hey, can stick with you the rest of your life. So don't sit up here and act like, hey, you can just do whatever you want to in your 20s and none of that's gonna touch you. Shout out to my man Trenton Makes over there in YouTube land as well too. So let me go ahead, man. I'm gonna start touching up on these articles. I'm gonna touch up on the migrant one first, and I'm gonna touch up on this GloRilla one as well too. As our people come up in here, they can get up in the actual conversation. They can listen. Shout out to all you up in the space. Do me a favor and make sure you guys go ahead and tweet the space out as well too. We got two topics, and I want to cover them both tonight. And you can also find them up in the jumbotron as always as well too, guys. So peace and shout out. Happy Thursday to you guys coming up in the space and Newstoter space. Monday through Thursday is always running. This article was published by the city of NYC, curator on Newstoter.com platform. This article is back from May, guys. So the article is a little dated. It's a couple months old, but it's still relevant because it's actually happening right today as we speak, with a mass amount of migrants being shipped off and dropped in New York. Basically, people that have no skill, no labor, no money in their pocket, and they're going straight to the subways, and they are actually, against the law. They're actually selling things, and up in the subways. DJ, you back? You want to say something real quick?
If you want to finish talking about that, I'll speak after you get into talking.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna touch up on these articles real quick. So, city's newest migrants head underground looking to survive an evening rush. Commuters zip through the 42nd Street subway passageway that links the Times Square and Port Authority stations last week. A mother of four young sons gently tried to make her voice heard in the city's busiest transit complex. Chocolate, she said in Spanish, clutching a small cardboard box with $2 packs of chewing gum, M&Ms, and Oreos as three of her boys sat on the floor crowding around the screen of a mobile phone. 2 months after arriving in the United States via the Mexican border town of Paderas, a 35-year-old Ecuadorian woman who did not want to be identified by name told the city that she has followed the path into the subway of other newly arrived asylum seekers from Central and South America who tried to make a few dollars by selling sweets and fruits. Initially, she thought she struggled to land cleaning jobs alongside day laborers at the street corner. The jobs there are not enough. You get maybe 1 or 2 days of work in the entire week, she said. You can't survive in this country, excuse me, with 2 days of work. So she continued to the transit system to peddle snacks. Here in the subway, maybe I can make some money. More than 67,000 asylum seekers have arrived in New York City since last year, according to City Hall, with the majority coming from countries in Central and South America. Some of these migrants were shipped on buses to a Port Authority bus terminal in Midtown by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. In the last week alone, 5,800 asylum seekers have arrived in New York, Mayor Eric Adams said Monday, with many arriving by plane at JFK and LaGuardia airports. An unknown number are now setting up shop in the subway, guys. Like I say, this article is from a couple months ago, but it's still relevant because this is going on right today. You don't have to make a huge investment, said Hildeland Colin, Deputy Director of New Immigrant Community Empowerment, a Queens-based organization that provides job training and other help for the newly arrived. You buy a package of candy and sell it. The city has been bracing for a significant influx of people crossing the southern border following the expiration earlier this month of Emergency Order Title 42, a federal pandemic measure that barred many migrants from coming into the U.S. in pursuit of asylum. While train stations have long been a draw for immigrants who sell food in the subway without authorization, a practice prohibited by the New York City Transit Rules of Conduct, advocates for the newly arrived told the city that the ongoing migrant crisis has increased the number of people peddling these things there. The subway is a last resort for a lot of people because of their circumstances, Colin said. They may be people who never qualify for asylum, but what you will see in common is that they all have to feed their families. Among them are mothers with infants strapped to their backs, and in some cases, unaccompanied small children selling candy in the subway. I see this kid all over, said one veteran subway worker who sent the city photos of a boy selling Welch's fruit snacks at stations in Brooklyn and Manhattan. When asked last month about the sightings of children selling snacks in the subway, MTA chairperson and CEO Janelle Leiber told the city that in years past, the agency has raised the issue of youth selling candy on trains to the administration for the children's service. They're doing it, but they're not necessarily collecting for the basketball team. Leiber said there are large businesses that put them out there to tell a story and they don't pay them much. Leiber also added violations of the transit system rules of conduct are left to the NYPD. A spokesperson for the ACS said it, if the New Yorkers spot a child panhandling in the subway or elsewhere and who may be in danger or in need of immediate assistance, they should notify the cops. According to the NYPD data, one criminal court summons was issued in the first 3 months of 2023 for unauthorized commercial activity in the transit system, while 76 were issued for disobeying transit signs, along with 63 for violating other transit regulations. In response to the questions from the city last week, MTA spokesperson Megan Keegan did not address migrants in the subway, focusing instead on recent improvements to service reliability, increases in ridership, and declines in crime. Longtime unlicensed subway vendors say they have also noticed a surge into the subway of the city's newcomers. It used to be that there was just a few of us, said a woman named Maria, an Ecuadorian woman who says she's been selling churros and fruits in the subway for 4 years. Now this whole station is packed, but it's not easy, Maria said, who was offering grapes and chunks of watermelon and mango at the sprawling Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center subway hub in Brooklyn last Friday. There is so much competition that some days you sell next to nothing. While there's no reliable measure of how many of the new arrivals have found their way into the subway system as vendors, several told the city that working on trains and stations gives them a better chance to make a few bucks, but also to encounter the police. It's the first place I found where I can make a little money, said another woman named Maria, also from Ecuador, who arrived in the US 6 months ago and now rents a room in Queens with her husband. I'm sure there are other places, but since I don't know my way around, I come to the subway. Maria, who was selling bracelets, necklaces, and churros at the Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center, told the city she and other vendors are regularly ordered out of the subway by police. They say move, that I'm not allowed to be here, she said. So I go somewhere else for a little bit, then I come right back. On multiple occasions last week, the city saw police officers move vendors out of the sprawling Brooklyn station, only for the vendors to return within minutes. They clear them out and they come right back, a station cleaner said. Maria says she also occasionally contends with customers who stiff her on food. While she spoke with the city, a man walked up to her cart, grabbed a bag of churros, and left without paying. Not much I can do, she said. Colin of New Immigrant Community Empowerment said the migrants are likely to continue turning to the subways as a place to make money. It's easier. There's always going to be someone passing through who can buy from you, and it's something they can do, she said. They're desperate. They're looking for work. DJ, real quick before you touch up on that, let me touch up on this GloRilla article real quick as well too, and then we can go ahead and you can get up into it. Of course, y'all know GloRilla, the rapper, and like I was saying before in the space, shout out to everybody coming up in the space, guys. Make sure you go ahead and share the space out. Shout out to my people in YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, share tonight's broadcast as well too. GloRilla, the rapper, female rapper, and some of these female rappers are lately, whether it's Suki Hana and the sexy red chick sitting up here, pee popping. Now GloRilla's telling chicks in their 20s that hey, be toxic. Be just as toxic as you want to be, girls, because you're only going to be 20 once in your lifetime. So let's go ahead and check out what GloRilla is saying real quick. This article is from Rolling Out, curator Newstoter.com platform up in the Jumbotron. The first two articles tonight I'm reading, they're both up in the Jumbotron. Guys, make sure you go ahead and retweet those articles out as well too. For those that's on YouTube, not YouTube, but for those that's in the Twitter space, definitely go ahead and retweet the articles out. GloRilla bashed for encouraging young women to be toxic. GloRilla incurred the wrath of social media when she encouraged young women to revel in toxicity while in their 20s. The 24-year-old rapper, who was born in Memphis, Tennessee, as Gloria Hallelujah Woods, advised females to thrive on being toxic before settling into maturity. Hey, ladies, I just want to let y'all know, be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s, she exclaimed while being cheered on by her friend in the car. You'll never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24. None of that ever again in your life. Be toxic. GloRilla completed her stream of thought by advising women to flush their toxicity out their system by the time they hit their 30s. Because don't get in your 30s thinking you can just go slashing tires and doing all that crazy. You're too old for that now. You're too mature to be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you're delusional, turn that shit up a notch, she continued while laughing. There was considerable blowback from fellow artists and fans who chastised GloRilla for promoting wayward behavior. Lil Mama, for example, implores young women not to heed GloRilla's advice. If you know better, do better. Don't be toxic on purpose and end up doing 25 to life, because you'll only be 50 once, too. Big Twin on the step in. Love you, bye. Another user added, if you spend your 20s being toxic instead of maturing, you're still doing the same thing in your 30s. Messy and immature doesn't have an age. Other fans joined Lil Mama in trying to steer impressionable girls and young women away from stewing in toxicity. Wish y'all would stop normalizing this behavior. Be good people. Ladies, by experience, every man I've been toxic with left me. Please don't be toxic. It's not worth it. In fact, God is watching, and he don't accept that kind of behavior. Oh, no, baby. Open your RIA or mutual fund. Invest in your future. Heal your mind, body, and soul. Learn how to become whole so you can attract what you are. Have your fun, but be wise. Let the toxic go. Toxicity usually attracts more toxicity, which is hard to heal from in your 30s. At Gorilla Pimp, girl, you have a lot of growing up to do. Things like this ain't funny no more. You got a big platform. Education is the best thing for you at this point. It's clear you aren't emotionally mature, and I'm not attacking you. I just want you to know you're wrong for promoting such immature behavior. It isn't cute, nor is it funny. So those are some of the responses from some of the people on social media, Twitter, and the other social media sites as well too. What's up? Shout out once again everybody up in the space. The topics of the night: GloRilla telling women to be toxic while you're in your 20s. You know we can't fit it all up in the title, so you have to kind of shorten it up a little bit. And migrants up in New York City, yeah, man, it's a hell of a lot of migrants. Since what 67,000 got sent up there, so it's a bunch of them. You got a bunch of people out of work. And a bunch of these people done went to the actual subways and they're selling candy and fruit snacks and chocolates and everything else they can to try to make a living as well too. So very, very crazy. I wonder who's fitting the bill for the actual rent as well too. So DJ, go ahead. You got your hand up. You still up in the space. I know you've been moving around.
Nah, all good. Still whipping. Yeah, to make a long story short, all well, I don't want to say pan, because that wouldn't be the right word. Second term. All peddlers or hawkers that be in the tunnels of the subway, they're not illegals. A lot of them actually have peddling licenses to be down there. It's very, very hard to get a peddling license or a hawking license from New York, whether it be in the tunnels or whether it be on top of the street. What I was going to say, there's like a 3-year waiting list to get like a license or whatever. So it's hard to do that. But what I just really want to say, though, imagine if that was black people, right? Trying to do the exact same thing. Hawk pedal, try to feed their family, try to make a living. Hold on, I'm turning. We'd be in jail in 2 seconds or we'd be arrested. We'll have our stuff confiscated. It just recently happened to me where I was peddling, or, some folks would consider hawking. Same thing. Inside of a shopping plaza, selling my CDs or whatever. Top flight security tells, hey, yo, you got to leave. You can't do that here. Says who? Says me. Well, who are you? Well, I could just make a phone call. See, he didn't even answer my question. Well, who are you? Yeah, I see you, the security, but you're not the owner of this lot. So when I said, well, who are you? And then he said, well, I can just make a phone call or whatever. I said, do what you got to do. And I walked off on him. So he did call the cops, but the cops took an hour to come. I stood in the parking lot the whole time doing what I was already doing. So with that being said, this same black man, I don't know what demographic or ethnic background he was, but he wanted to call the cops or nobody else. You see what I'm saying? So this is the argument that us black folks have been dealing with for a long time. Remember, a lot of these peddling rules, hawking rules, they're built for us. You know what I mean? These panhandling rules, they're meant for us. The tipping analogy, that come from us, not no one else. It don't come from nowhere else in the world. So when you say, hey, look, these jokers are up in the subways doing yada, 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 and ain't nobody stopping them, New York City know it's against the law, but what they going to really do? You know what I mean?
That's the issue that DJ, the cops not doing. They'll tell them to go away for a little bit, and the cops not really doing anything. That's why they keep coming back. They telling you that.
Right. Well, here's the thing: the police are gonna have to start abiding by the law them damn self. Confiscate their shit, arrest them, because that's what you're supposed to do. Because it clearly states on any application of any business entity, or the business peddling application. In order for you to vent or peddle outside of the street, you must have a license. They ain't got they come in here with nothing allegedly, right? So they don't got $152 or $300 to go get a peddling license. You see what I'm saying? They don't got that. So y'all know that, but they're not going to do anything about it because you got to remember, a lot of these cops, they are these immigrants too. They're the family of these immigrants. They come from the same ethnic background. So they're not going to do much of anything as far as actually arrest someone, but they would arrest us in a heartbeat. They would harass us black folks in a heartbeat because they know we are the originators of this shit. And they would do anything in their power to try to ostracize us for making a dollar. See what I'm saying? And I don't even want to turn this into like a whole business space, but like after I hung up with the phone on you earlier, I got a call from my EDC rep. You see what I'm saying? I'm running all this shit down. It's just like, we don't got the type of, I don't want to say respect, that won't be the word, but we don't got the type of help that we need to actually fund and help our businesses that are already brick and mortar, rather be they digital, no matter what it is. We don't got that type of help. So they would still get help, these migrants or immigrants. We already know when it comes to business funding, they get help in the snap of a finger. While us, we got to fill out a business plan. We got to show all this information. We got to make sure our taxes is paid up 3 years in advance. All this crap just to get a loan from the bank to try to not just maybe establish a business, but what about just maintaining a business where you need the capital for equipment? You might want to revamp the business as far as totally revitalize it. We don't get any type of funding for that. Your T's could be crossed, your I's could be dotted. We learned this from the pandemic or pandemic, whereas, black businesses that had all their things in order, everything in checking order, they didn't get no triple P loans. They didn't get any of that stuff. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Why is it that we are always being ostracized of trying to obtain a loan and all this other stuff? This is what it really falls down to. But here come the migrants. And keep in mind, too, if you go listen to a lot of these white folks that are on the border, like Texas and stuff like that, a lot of these folks are coming here with all types of wealth action. You know what I mean? A lot of them aren't poor. A lot of them aren't, I ain't going to say a lot of them. Majority of them aren't poor. Majority aren't asylum seekers. They're just border jumpers trying to come here for whatever the reason they come here. See what I'm saying? So why is it that, Joe Biden, you're giving $350 billion to Ukraine, but you ain't gave $350 billion to the people that live in? You got folks that's living on the street that are veterans, but you're helping Africa giving them $55 billion. See what I'm saying? Won't you give $55 billion to the homeless veterans that are here? They're not doing that. So, and this is both sides of the bill, GOP, DNC. News media is corrupt. That's a hydra right there. You know what I'm saying? That is a hydra. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you know what I mean? It is what it is, man. I'm going to leave my mic for a minute.
All right, because I was going to say, based off of what I see with the actual subways, I've never been on a subway. I didn't know people actually sold stuff. You said you can actually have a license and sell at the actual subway as well, too? Can you have a vendor license actually sell there, or is it illegal to even sell in that area down there in the subways? Okay, he muted his mic, so he can't hear me. But anybody from New York, let me know, because I've never, whenever I've seen, pictures of the subway and people on the subway and this and that or whatever, I never really thought about the subway as a place where people, were actually selling things and things of that nature as well, too. So I also know a couple people from New York were saying that on Twitter was saying that, hey, when we were out here peddling and selling things and stuff like that, they stopped us from selling it, but they're allowing them to go ahead and sell things as well too. So that's a really interesting point of view. That if you're stopping the black people from selling stuff, but you're allowing the actual immigrants who just got here to actually sell. I know DJ made a remark. He was saying that they're going to need, the police officers going to need to go ahead and confiscate people's stuff. That's one way. That's one thing that'll stop them from selling. But the stuff they're getting is so cheap, too, that if you confiscate it, they'll probably go right back and get it. And I know he was saying that they should probably go ahead and arrest them. I'm not sure they're going to go ahead and arrest them for out there panhandling. I could be wrong, but when you think about New York City, who knows how packed their jails are right now, how overcrowded the jails are and everything else. And they're going to look at it like this. They're like, do we really have the room and space to go ahead and take people that's really non-violent people and put them in actual in a limited capacity jails that we already have as well too. So I'm not sure how much of an option that'll really be as well too. I don't think they're going to really take the people off the street. They're going to say, well, it'll also be a blowback in terms of the actual media coverage as well too. You'll have people saying, well, these people are poor. They're just trying to feed their families. They just got in here in this country. They can't speak the language. They're trying to find a place to live. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. And you guys are going ahead and you're putting them in jail. And, you're not even allowing them to try to make a few dollars. Why you got to put them in jail? If you want them to leave, just tell them to leave. But you don't have to put the people in jail. So I don't know how real of a possibility that is, that they would actually take these people and actually put them in jail for simply panhandling, which is illegal and they shouldn't be doing it. But the simple fact that people say, well, they're not violent offenders and anything like that. They're not hurting anybody. They're just trying to make a living. And, I don't think it's right for you to go ahead and put them in jail. So you got 67,000 migrants that's in New York City since last year. 67,000. Think how many the city you live in, and think if the city you live in, and we talk about New York City, the actual financial heartbeat of the actual world, and they're having a hard time processing. Imagine if you had 67,000 people within a year's time illegals came to your city, think how hard that would be, how taxing that would be on the actual system of the city that you stay in. How could the city you live in, how would they be able to actually handle that? So I mean, that's a lot to deal, and they're still getting people pumped in there left and right as well too. DJ, go ahead. I see you got your hand up.
Yeah, so with that being said, right, again, a lot of these folks, they're not home, they're not poor, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them have connections and infrastructure already established here by the time they make it to this country. So, for the ones that you happen to do see on the street selling whatever they selling or panhandling, whatever they are panhandling that in the subway, that's just a one-off or two-off or even five-off few that of thousands and millions of them that actually come here with money in their pocket. A lot of these folks are, educated. A lot of them are doctors, lawyers, whatever other type of construction workers, whatever it is they do in their home country. So this is why it's easy for a lot of them to come here and try to obtain work. Other thing is too, what we fail to realize is that, hold on, man, let me walk on over here.
The ones that's in the subway, though. I mean, the ones that's selling this stuff and making a little bit of money. We wouldn't consider those people there to be, well off or decent or even middle class or whatever. Would you?
Right, but here's the thing. Maybe some of them wasted a whole lot of money actually trying to come up here. Remember, a lot of them get robbed and get chipped by these what do they call them? Like these delivery donkeys or whatever the case be. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of them wind up getting their money taken from them. Shit like that, robbed. Yeah. This, that, and the third. So it is what it is. Shit, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Quinn? So, that's the type of shit, they be dealing with on that level or whatever the case be. But that's not all of them. And that's the argument of that, too, where it's like it make it seem like it's all of them, but it's not, though.
Real talk. What you think about the GloRilla situation with her telling the women in their 20s to be toxic until you get to your 30s?
Yeah. Catch y'all later, all right? Well, hey, man, whole is life, bro. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Sum it up that simple. You know what I mean? A lot of these black women like GloRilla, they love to tell other women and black women in general, hey, it's okay to be a hoe. And maybe she right in some ways and shit, you know what I mean? Maybe she right in some ways, because remember what Toni Braxton just said recently in the interview, that she wish she had more of a hoe phase in her years or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying?
She said what? What did Toni Braxton say?
Yo, bro, dead break. You know what I'm saying? She said that. What's up, mama? She said that. You know what I mean? I wish I had more of a hoe phase when I was younger. This is after she broke up with Birdman.
Oh Lord, I didn't know Toni. I mean, Toni was always considered like a classy woman, so I don't know. Toni like 50 some years old, so why is she even worried about that now? Like with everything she's accomplished in life and everything she's done, I don't even understand what she's talking about. But okay, shout out to you, Toni. I still love you, but come on now.
That's all it is. She missed her youth. That's all it is. So it's like, you grew up in the church, you probably grew up in a prominent home. You ain't have a chance to be a hoe because your parents wasn't having that shit. So it's like you see what's going on nowadays. It's like, oh man, I would rather be doing that, or I wish I had an opportunity to do that. But not understanding that's not the way to be or to ever go. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Real quick, shout out to Dark Kent and Truth Bearer over there on YouTube. And Truth Bearer said it's a reason why the industry promotes and pay artists like GloRilla in the first place. It's about pushing an agenda. I'll say this right here, Truth Bearer. It seems like every time you turn around now, and I don't know, for some of the stuff that they're trying to say that the female rappers, they're talking about it's such an empowerment or whatever. They're trying to say now that the female rappers, they control rap and it's an empowerment and everything else. And for the first time in history, you got women rappers that's actually running the show, and it's all about empowerment. And if you don't agree with what they're doing and you're a hater and this and that or whatever, I just don't see that. I guess maybe because they're saying that they're selling more records than they did back in the 90s and the 80s. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that, because Cardi B, I believe Cardi B's actually gone diamond before. And you got Megan Thee Stallion selling, and you got GloRilla, and some of these other ones that's selling as well too. So I'm be honest, I don't know anything. I know the WAP song, but I can't tell you anything that these other female artists are really singing and putting out like that. I hear it on the radio because my son he likes to listen to it, and sometimes I just have to bear through this kind of stuff and just actually listen to it because I don't want to be the old man. But after a while, even then, I'm like, yeah, son, I got to turn this right here. I can't listen to this too much longer. I got to go ahead and turn it. But it's one of those things that they're talking about empowerment and this and that or whatever. But like Latifah was about empowerment, Light was about empowerment. You know, say what you want to about certain even rappers that push the edge, and you can say went too far. You can say Kim or Foxy. They may have pushed the edge too much, went too far, whatever. So, but they still were about female empowerment to a certain degree themselves. Maybe not to the level that the others were, but so I can't sit in that like this is something brand new. And the fact of the matter is that they don't want you to say anything to these chicks like the Suki Hana chick. Every time you turn around, she's got videos out and she's making sure that she can be in earshot where you can hear her just say the craziest things coming out of her mouth as well too. And they're filming it and they putting it out there, whatever. So you got Suki Hana saying this. You got the sexy red chick. I think she was online one time talking about how many times she had been burned or something with gonorrhea, some kind of STD or something she was talking about. And so you're like, what in the hell? Like, what man wants to hear how many times a woman he might have been interested in has had a damn STD? Like, who wants to hear some garbage like that? If anything, most men, if they hear that you burning, they trying to go the other way. Like, oh, okay, yeah. Did you hear? Yeah, I heard. Yeah, she burning. That's what they used to say back in the day. Oh, no, you don't want to talk to her. She burning. She burning. She may have got clean. She might have got the penicillin. Oh, that stigma. Oh, she burning. That was enough to say, oh, okay, well, let me leave that alone right there. But this chick up here talking about how many, I mean, just the craziest things, the color of this and that, and the color of that or whatever, and this and that. Like, yo, like, and that's empowerment. They say if you say anything against that, then you're hating female empowerment. And this whole hip hop 50 thing, a lot of it's been about about how misogynistic rap was and how rap is finally coming to grips and how how the sisters are finally getting their say and this and that or whatever. And it's just been like, are you serious? Like we had some real rappers that had really a lot of stuff to say. I mean, it was about empowerment and whatnot. I just don't see that here. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know. Go ahead, DJ. You got anybody else that wants to speak as well, too, man? Y'all come on up here, raise your hand. I see a bunch of y'all coming up in the space. Make sure y'all go ahead and retweet the space out as well, too.
Again, bro, I don't cook, I don't clean. This some wet ass. You know what I'm saying? So again, is it an agenda or is it self-inflicted wounds? See what I'm saying? Ain't no agenda, man. At this point, this shit is self-inflicted, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Because our folks go along with the flow, and meaning that hey, whatever's hot or whatever's trending, that's what we're doing. That's all it is. You know what I mean? These folks that are rappers nowadays, they know they don't have to rap like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a choice. You see what I'm saying? Of what they feel that this is the content that is hot, so I'm gonna imitate it to get this money. You got, like Jay-Z said, I got more in common. I'd rather rhyme like common sense, but I got 5 mics, so I ain't been rhyming like common sense. See what I'm saying? So it's like, even Jay-Z, hey, look, I'm going to do this to get the money. Hey, Banks told me to switch the style up and let the money pile up. 50 Cent. When you go listen to the Power of the Dollar album, which is the album he did when he was on Columbia prior to him getting shot, that's better than Get Rich or Die Trying, bro, by like 1,000,000%. You know what I'm saying? But when you listen to Get Rich or Die Trying, it's all this commercialism versus like these storytelling raps that was on Power of the Dollar. You see what I'm saying? Where it was like, damn, I can visualize what he's saying. But everything that was on and shout out to 52, we just had that 20th anniversary of Get Rich or Die Trying, and all that. But yeah, man, that's just really what it is. So at the end of the day, do you really have to rap like this? No, you don't. But you may not make much or be recognized as an artist. And so that's the narrative where it's like, people say it's women empowerment, but you're really just being a hoe. You in your whole phase and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, Light didn't rap like that. Latifah didn't rap like that. Rap Cassidy, who's a rapper that's known out here, why she ain't getting the backing GloRilla got? Why Ciroc, why she ain't getting the backing Meg Thee Stallion got? And she on her straight high power God body shit. So why y'all women ain't listening to her? Because that shit don't appeal, bro. It don't appeal. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to listen to none of this goofy ass conscious shit. That's what they say out here. I'd rather listen to that turn up shit. Or we'll sit here, turn right back around, be two-faced and say, oh, rap is terrible. You know, these artists, I don't understand the music. I can't relate to it. But again, when I say, hey, well, who's the top 10 artists that's really saying something and got, really got a good conscious artwork and you know, they're really doing things for the community. Can you name them? Everybody go dead silent on me, bro. So it's like if you're not supporting your mans and them that you know he got fired, he ain't on no shoot the club up stuff. Y'all don't support those artists. Y'all let them slide right through, not even be supported or none of this other stuff. Other thing is too, you got to think about. All right, I was in a meeting today with this EDC. We're talking about the exact same thing. Artists don't really support artists in that way, and as long as you have to worry about dealing with this new digital era, as far as like again, 100,000 songs come out a month. That's 1.2 million a year. So I don't care how dope Newstoter rap is, that shit ain't going nowhere because Newstoter is not affiliated with the machine. It don't matter how hard, you know what I mean, to Rick's bars are, you know what I'm saying? And like he really saying something conscious, you know what I mean? That shit ain't going nowhere, bro, because you're not a part of the machine. And then obviously, when we look at this whole, backlog of what NWA went through with Jerry Heller, the Jew, they don't want us talking anything positive to each other. They don't want us having knowledge of self or understanding of what's going on. In the same instance, all these other WPIs, social media sites, they don't want us talking reparations. They don't want us talking about a black agenda, black state Newstoter. We get suspended, banned, and ostracized. Or if they do let it slide, we don't get no engagements on the content. You see what I'm saying? And with that being said, this is the whole argument about social. SOXCIAL.com, SOXCIAL.com, social.com, or funditsocially.com. There you go. We must understand as these black folks, we got to fund our own endeavors. So 5 years, 10 years from now, shit's still the same thing. We can't complain because we got an opportunity now to really do our own thing. Now you don't want to be over talk.
Oh no, you good, you good. Right now nobody's coming up, so it's good to hear what you got to say about this as well too. Let me read a couple comments from YouTube as well too. Like, oh Lord, like when people on YouTube appreciate the little comments y'all got today. I'm gonna read a couple of these real quick. Extreme X says nobody's gonna respect these women when they admitted they like to be urinated on. Huh? Kind of got a point there. Oh my Lord, I see Black Pressure coming up here, so let me let Pressure come up here as well. I'm gonna read these comments and see if Pressure wants to speak. Nightfall says, mark this date. Wait for another 5 years after GloRilla has been in 5 toxic relationships, has 2 baby daddies. If she isn't a lesbian, she'll be a zaddy chaser. He says, more than likely, this chick won't even be relevant with no record deal, crying she's broke, and that all the industry dudes she smashed won't return her phone calls. Ooh, got some sharp comments over here in the YouTube sphere right here tonight. Truth Bearer says GloRilla has signed a 360 deal, so they literally could have made her say that garbage. She's a new slave. Nightfall says all the women we talk about now will have gone the same direction of an irrelevant Nicki Minaj, Iggy Azalea. And he's saying, correct, Truth Bearer. Everyone knows that the 360 deal is a perpetual slave contract. What is a 360 deal? I hear it all the time, and I'm not really up on it on the contract side of it like that. So what exactly is a 360 deal? Because I hear it all the time.
Just to sum it up to you in lame terms, you remember the TLC miniseries documentary that came on television?
Yeah.
Okay, spoiler alert for those that didn't see it. Here you go. You might want to mute your mic.
I'm sure everybody had to see it by now, but damn, go ahead.
Right. You'd be surprised. I actually brought it up to some folks that's our age. They never even heard of that shit. So you remember the scene when they was performing at the club and they came out, and the dude was like, "Yo, y'all was dope. I love y'all." Da 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 da. And then the valet pulled up with their Toyota RAV4s and shit, and he started laughing at him and clowning him. And they was like, "Oh, what you laughing at?" He said, "Yo, y'all just sold 10 million records. Y'all driving around in Toyota and shit." You know what I'm saying? So that's what woke TLC up to say, "Hey, we need to go look at our contract." So Pebbles, LaFace, L.A. Reid, you know what I'm saying, Babyface, and Pebbles, they was raping the hell out of TLC. So
well, initially it was Pebbles because he was actually signing a Pebbles record label, but
right, but Pebbles was under LaFace.
yeah, she was under LaFace too.
So it's this, they all the same entity, bro. You see what I'm saying? They just using Pebbles as this side LLC bar to say, "Hey, this is Pebbles Records," or whatever it is. But when you go look at the background of not the background, you go check the credits of any of them TLC albums, they got LaFace on it. Yo. That's the parent company. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, what's a 360 deal? You sign away your rights pretty much as an artist to allow these corporations to get money off your shows, the physical sales of CDs or DVDs, whatever it be. They get a percentage of your shows. They get future earnings off your royalties. Anything merchandise they sell, they probably get 50%, 20, 30%, whatever the percent. They getting some. So that's really what a 360 deal is. We'll do all the work. All you got to do is perform, but now realizing you can do the same thing in 2023. Do all the work, get somebody else to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? You just still go perform. So that's the argument that I'm having, where it's like I'm trying to avoid that 360 deal because I'm trying to stay independent. But as long as I'm independent, 9 times out of 10, I won't make it because I refuse to affiliate myself with one of the major labels. I'm not signing away 50% of my publishing. I'm not giving up none of my copyright. I'm not allowing you to have 50% of my merchandise when I've been selling merchandise my whole life. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, when y'all see an artist out in the street, "Hey fam, check my music out." A lot of folks, try to clown me nowadays because I still sell CDs and DVDs. But hey, Walmart made $1 billion in profit, not revenue, in profit, selling DVDs in 2022. $1 billion. So how is it physical media is not a viable thing? Well, when you look at anywhere else in the world, they still buy physical media all the way down to cassette tapes. When the last time you bought a cassette tape, bro?
Back in the 90s. No, maybe the early, maybe by 2001, 2002.
Right. So, but if you go over to the UK, when the pandemic hit, cassette tapes skyrocketed 94% to the demand. And not just like tapes that are completely pressed and ready for sale in the retail. The blanks, we can't even get blanks. You know what I'm saying? They try to replicate our own shit to go out here. So, it is what it is. But what's up, Black Pressure? Go ahead. I want to talk.
Real quick, let me give a shout out too also to my man Trenton, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Black Pressure, I know you got something you want to talk about on this topic tonight. We got 2 of them, so you pick and choose whichever one you want to talk about, or talk about both of them. We don't care.
What's up, Black fam? Hey, mine is actually, once again, we apologize. I'm just leaving work. So mine is actually positive, though. Just to come off the top of what DJ said, also knows what you mentioned. It's possible to do it. I probably DJ could lecture you better than I could, but I actually saw it with my own eyes. So me being from the Houston area, I actually saw like DJ Screw and Slim Thug, and those dudes actually kept all of their money without signing major deals. I even remember Slim Thug saying, and this is just off mixtapes. This is not even coming out with albums. He was 18 years old when he come out with the freestyle tapes. Of course, everybody calls them screw tapes, but he come out with the freestyle tapes, and he said he was 18 making $80,000 a year. He was making more than the teachers in his school just off selling his mixtapes. I guess you could say out of the trunk. But like DJ was saying, you can actually do it. There's ways to do it now. He actually too, they had a buzz around the city, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. So they had worked hard to get a name out, but it is possible for an artist to be independent, not have a major deal, and really make a bunch of money. And I'll be up and listen.
Well, before you go, Black Pressure, I gotta ask you now. What do you think? Before I let you go, at least with this GloRilla thing, what do you feel about her saying that? Telling women, in particularly, let's be for real, Black women, to be toxic as you want to be in your 20s, and then when you get in your 30s, go ahead and straighten out the toxicity.
Yeah, me and the homies and family members have had this conversation before where women want to pour out when they're young and they get to a certain age and say, I'm ready to settle down and be a, wife and all that. It's nothing new. I say this as a man, it's our job to be able to see that, what you used to be, the lifestyle you used to live. And once we recognize that, if you go for it, if you put up with it, if you can put up with someone fast, go for it. But any real man wouldn't put up with anything like that. The reason I'm using up Lou, I'm actually driving on the highway, but I'll jump in on it when I get home.
No problem, no problem. I know, like you say, you just getting off from work as well too. So definitely, I want to hear some women also in the space as well too. I know we got plenty of women up in the space, and I see my girl Trouble down there in the bottom. I know Trouble. You may be. I know you back in school too. So if you get a chance to come up and speak tonight, Trouble, I definitely wouldn't mind hearing you what you feel about. And it doesn't even have to be the GloRilla thing. If you guys want to mention the talk about the migrants, either topic, both topics to find with us as well too. But I definitely would like to hear what some women think, because I know we got some women up in the space that's in their 20s, 30s, 40s, on up and stuff as well too. And how do you feel about a rapper that has a major platform sitting up here telling women that, hey, be just as toxic as you want to be, ladies, and then when you turn 30, go ahead and let all the toxic rinse up out of you. Like, yeah, that in hindsight, that may seem like an easy thing, but like one of the actual rappers, what was her name in the article, Lil Mama was saying that, yeah, be careful that you don't get that 25 to life being toxic as well too. Sometimes you may want to just go ahead and do what you want to do, but sometimes that it's going to be a little bit of ramifications behind that as well too. So I say I got my girl Trouble up here. Trouble, what's going on?
Hey, Newstoter. Hey, Black family up in the house. How's everybody doing?
Hey, what's up now?
Oh my God, I'm rolling up in the yard. Hey, DJ. So yeah, wow. I think it should have been like you said. I think it should have been worded a little bit differently. On one hand, it feels like she was saying, get all of that bullshit out your system. If you're gonna do it now. But we all know what goes up must come down, and what you put out, you definitely get back. I'm a firm believer at what goes around comes around. It might not be today or tomorrow. It might be 10 years from now. So you gotta watch that level of energy that you put out there. One thing my mother always taught me was that you don't take advice from your friends, because them will be the helpers that get you into trouble. And so a young person telling other young people, be toxic, be, A, B, and C. And now when you're 20s, on one hand, yeah, your 20s is meant for you to be wild and free, but consequences come behind everything that you do. So I don't know what level of toxic she meant, but the toxic behavior that I see coming from a lot of people, and not just 20-year-olds, that's not the top level of toxic that anybody needs to be. People need to start putting their mind somewhere different, looking at what's going on around you. And so maybe she's just talking to the girls who are not actually looking at what's going on in their world right now. And it's sad because, when we was growing up, we had a lot of conscious rappers, especially, we had females our age that was, trying to kick that knowledge, about what was going on around the world, and more surrounding that than they was talking about, your cookie and how to give it away and how to get that Birkin bag, and a lot of the young girls that they force in front of our young nieces and daughters' faces nowadays just have some completely degenerate thinking going on. So hopefully folks have people inside their lives that are talking to them and telling them, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Well, I got more, but I'm going to leave it there. The migrants selling food inside of subways is so hypocritical, and it's so anti-American, more than it is anti-Black. It's some anti-American foolishness because anytime we do anything, we got to have permits. We need to have permission. We need to have whatever it is, paperwork that they want us to have. And so to allow migrants to be selling food, especially food that could cause you harm, that could make you sick. Maybe you got an unwashed ass and you got the audacity to be fixing somebody's food. Who the hell is buying this food? You buy that food, you need to be sick. You need to be sitting over the toilet for a goddamn week with two 24 packs of toilet paper. Because who is buying that? But at the same time, why are they allowing it? Why are they allowing it? I seen an article earlier today saying that the Department of Justice is suing SpaceX because of how they are refusing to hire their hiring practices for refugees. And that goes hand in hand with that foolishness. That's some anti-American foolishness to me, to say that you want them to hire the refugees over, able-bodied Americans who would otherwise apply for those jobs. People who lived in this country and deserve to have those jobs, you will put the refugees over them. You're not suing them for their anti-Black policies or things that they do, but you're suing them for the refugees. And that goes hand in hand with what's going on with the migrants. You are allowing them to do things that we cannot do, that we will be jailed for, that we will have our ass whooped for because you didn't like our attitude when we responded to you. So I think everybody, Black, white, purple, green, and Haitian, everybody needs to be protesting and making noise about these things that are going on. And it's like, I don't know, are we as not only just Black people, but as Americans, are we only complaining on social media, or are we actually out in these streets making noise about it? Because it seems like it's a constant conversation going on about it, but nothing is really being done. And so I guess my question is, what is actually going to be done? What is all Americans going to do about it? Because Black folks, we can't sit back and take these L's by ourselves. We got to get everybody else involved with it. They got to see the 52 fake out and be willing to stand up too. But it seems like the whole world, even the whole country, the whole world, always look to Black folks to be the ones to kick some shit off. So if we got to kick it off, we can kick it off. But everybody needs to participate in, talking about these what I call anti-American policies, rules, and things that they're doing. And I'll land on that. Thanks for allowing me to speak, Toda.
All right. Thank you. And Trouble, I don't know, we had a space a couple months ago. I know we were talking about the migrants because you had a bunch of people up in New York City. They were moving migrants into actual schools and stuff in there. So you had a bunch of people that was actually protesting that as well, too. So you've had quite a few protests. We see the protests in Chicago. A lot of the, Black folks are protesting things going on in Chicago with the migrants and stuff like that, too. So you've had people not just on social media, but actually in the actual the physical realm, actually going up here and actually protesting a lot of these different issues as well going on too. So not just
to the White House. I think everybody needs to not necessarily pull a January 6th, but Black, whites alike in this country need to take it to the White House, take it directly to Joe Biden's doorstep because it's getting out of hand. I've talked plenty of times in these spaces about all of the Mexicans that have moved into not only the school systems here, and when I don't live in the greatest district in the world. I live in one of the worst districts in this county, in this area, and so we're already at an economical disadvantage. And so they literally brought a whole bunch of Mexicans into the school systems where they were already having food insecurities inside of the buildings. They were already losing teachers every year from not being able to afford them. So if we have substitute teachers and we have non-certified teachers that are teaching these kids because y'all can't afford certified teachers or teachers with degrees, and you don't have enough food for when the 8th grade class gets to lunch because they're the last ones to eat, why are you bringing these migrant students into our school district, overwhelming them? They're moving them into our neighborhoods. I keep saying, I got some, I had white people next door to me. They stayed here for about 3 months, now they gone. Now I got a yard full of Mexicans over here. They had initially started off by just fixing the house when the white people moved out. But now I see that they're actually living here as they're supposed to be, cleaning this house out they've been living in the house, and it started off with 4 or 6 of them. I came out the door, and it was about 8 of them, and they do their best when I'm outside. They do their best to walk past me and turn their head so I don't look directly at them. So it's like, what the hell is going on over here? Well, I mean, really, they're not bothering me, but it's bothering me, because I keep watching my Black American people over here in this neighborhood be moved out, and others are moving in. And so it's bothering me on a different level. They stay to themselves, except for that little trash that was kicked in my yard, but I nicely, went over there and told them to come get it. But, other than that, it is a problem. And I know that I talk about it a lot, but I haven't done anything that I probably should be doing, as far as I go to the school meetings and complain about it all the time. I don't get any answers from the administration, other than, they can only do what they do because it's not up to them, and blah, 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 blah. So I need to figure out what it is, what's the next step for me to take as well. But we all have to figure it out. But it's increasingly becoming a problem. And I don't think at this point in time, it feels like the government knows it's a problem, but because they have this agenda of moving these lower tier people in and moving everyone else out to force a Hunger Games type of situation where the only people who win is the elite. It seems like they're determined to do that. And so maybe there is nothing that we can do besides go up there in January 6th, they asses, everybody all in one collective voice, all together, turn this mug up. But I don't know, and I'll land there. Sorry.
No problem, Trouble. Real quick, guys, up in the Jumbotron, we have the Newstoter YouTube channel. It's on the right hand side, the fourth on the right hand side. We got enough stuff in the DJ, so that's good for the amount of stuff we got up in the Jumbotron. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Definitely go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're up in the space and you're not following Newstoter on Twitter, make sure you guys are following us on Twitter as well, the host and the co-host. For those that can, support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. For those that do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron as well, too. Let me go ahead and get to Ely the Riot. Ely, go ahead. How you doing tonight? Ely, are you there? Try one more time. I got his hand up. I'm not sure. Ely, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, what's up now?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, what's going on?
Yep. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. We can hear you.
Okay. We can hear you, bro. Go ahead. You good? My dog. Yeah, man. Speaking of what the sister was saying, man, it's about that time though. You know what I'm saying? We got a foothold on them right now, as far as like say for instance, you do a little time travel thing, right? You go back to 1921, from 1900s to 1932, and this mentality of black folks was alive back then, as far as like actually standing up, speaking up, and saying, "No, you ain't gonna do that." There wouldn't have been no bombers or no massacres. You know what I'm saying? So what they doing now, they forcing our hand now. You know what I'm saying? They blatantly doing it, but they doing it in specs where you hear about it, but you don't see. Like a guy in California watching TV and seeing them selling stuff on the New York subway. You know what I'm saying? You hear about it, but you ain't living. You know what I'm saying? But right now, everybody living at the same time. So like said, the best option is, reparation, national boycott, going down to Washington, totally separate and standing up. Because right now, a lot of us have jobs given to us by white men. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of 60% of the governmental jobs are black. A lot of them are doing well. You know what I'm saying? So they got them on the payroll. They got all of us on the payroll. We got them out of their payroll as far as like standing up and saying, you know what, fuck you, Billy. Excuse my language. Skip you, Billy. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that yet. Talk, we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? But we slowly get it. So, with the girl or the title of the thing, when the girl
knowing that, we all know the Jews and the other people own radio stations. They don't really put hip hop artists on. We've been knowing that for eons. You know what I'm saying? We know about the how government, not the government, but that guy who put the NWA thing in. Even Too Short said it. He said they prefer him to rap about the girls instead of the politics. You know what I'm saying? So we know about the mind control thing. So the gig is up right now. You know what I'm saying? Just y'all talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So just y'all talking about it. You know, that's all you can ask for right now. You're not gonna get physical and lose this war like that. That's what they want. You know what I'm saying? So we got them right now as far as like prepping our key for the next one. Following. You might take a loss this go around. Everybody go for the reparations. You don't get reparations. Everybody seeing that we don't get it, then we snap about it. It's trans they gotta see it. So you gotta be a collective. You have some folks saying we ain't gonna get reparations. You got another group saying we is gonna get reparations. And they still in the same family. That causes confusion in the movement. It's like Christian and Muslim. Even though y'all playing to the same God. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. So we got that. We got the focal point of our attack is these immigrants right now. On top of documenting what you have done to us in the last 600 years. So that's all I can say. I'll really just focus on what they did and what we gonna do next time they try it. You know what I mean? Set the war off. You know what I'm saying? National boycott. Set the war off on them. Tell them immigrants you don't like them around because this is why. Don't just say you don't like them. I don't like you here because the government giving you money. God damn it. You come here, hey man, I think you should move. You know what I'm saying? You move to your neighborhood, you know, hey, you know, I don't know. Something go down, no snitching policy on them. You know what I mean? So I'll let my play.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Let me say this real quick about the immigrant, the migrant situation. You're gonna have the upcoming election in 2024. And even though I know you have a certain amount of black people that, you know, seem to be leaving the Democrat Party, becoming more independent, more free thinking, you still have a significant amount of black people that still vote Democrat in this country. The vast majority of black people, even in 2020 vote, are still going to vote Democrat. And because they're going to still vote Democrat, you know, they, for whatever reason, and me and DJ can tell you, we've had spaces on there where we actually had the data to show you that, you know, illegal immigration hurts black people in this country the most, and in particular, black men. The unskilled black male population is the ones that's hurt the most by immigration, illegal immigration. You know, but you know, our people still, they're not going to go ahead if you vote Democrat. And I'm not telling you what to vote for or not, but whatever. But we know for a fact that the Democrats are going to continue to constantly pump in immigrants in this country, illegal immigrants. You know, their whole thing is that anybody that's over here in this country, whether they came here illegally or not, should be an American citizen. And they're saying that too because they want political power. They want to be able to control the politics in this country. And they feel like, hey, if we go ahead and we let a certain amount of people come in here, you know, they'll be loyal to us. They think that everybody, if you do them a favor or a solid, they'll be loyal to you. Like a lot of black people think that, hey, you know, the reason that we got civil rights in this country was because of Democrats, and because of that, we're going to be loyal to them and we're going to vote Democrat the whole time. So as much as we talk about the migrant situation, it's going to actually take black people that's going to cast those votes to actually kind of wake up and kind of think that, hey, you know, and it's still a large percent of our people are still not doing it. They're not saying, well, hey, you know what? These people look at you as competition. You have to look at them as competition as well, too. And we won't do that. We look at everybody like, well, you know, we're all minorities. We're all the underrepresented. You can't, like, I can't even read an article, even off of Newstoter.com. You know, so many different articles have black and brown in it. And I'm like, man, we're talking about black people here. Why can't we just, you know, focus on black people? Why do we always have to throw the minority word, or we got to throw brown in it? Like black and brown have become synonymous. Like if you say black, you got to mention brown. And I just don't understand that train of thought right there. That's not going to be beneficial. And it's not beneficial to black people. So for those of us that see that, hey, you know, the migrants coming into this country and stuff like that, and I don't begrudge anybody coming trying to get a better life. You know, I don't begrudge you coming from a country that might be war torn, or it's a third world country, whatever, and you want to do what the best for your family. I don't begrudge anybody trying to do that. My thing is this right here, that resources are already limited in this country, and resources when it comes to us are very limited. Very, very, very limited. We can only get so much. There's a small amount that's allotted to black people, and you got to fight like hell to get that. But until like black politicians, and not just black politicians, but black voters actually see it, it's going to be an uphill battle. It really is. Most of the black people on Twitter still support Joe Biden, and I know we're supposed to be quote unquote in a woke era and everything else like that, but most of them support him because they say, well, what's the option? What's the alternative? As soon as you say something about the Democrats ain't doing, well, what the Republicans gonna do for you? What did the Republicans do? The Republicans, you can't say anything about the Democratic Party without the Republicans coming up. Now, last I thought, black people vote almost at a 90% clip for the Democrats. So it would make sense that you would actually hold these people to a higher regard and expect more from them than you would somebody that you're not even responsible for putting in office. Black people aren't putting Republicans in office, but they are putting Democrats all throughout the nation in office. On every level of government, they're putting Democrats in office. And if you say something about, hey, this or that about the Democratic Party first, well, what are the Republicans doing? The Republicans are part of white supremacy. The Republicans making all these. The Republicans. So I was like, okay. We still haven't learned yet, y'all. We still haven't learned. Like, we still have not gotten that through our thick head yet. So we'll see what the 2024 election holds. And like I said, we've already seen that some of these major black publications have come out and they've already talking about entertainers. They're talking about the rappers, and they got rappers trying to sway people to vote Republican. And they have no issue with these rappers trying to sway people to vote Democrat. They was entertaining Cardi B. They was entertaining Megan Thee Stallion. They have no issue with that because The Root came out with an article about that, a post about that last week. They have no issue about them actually trying to have black entertainers get people to sway and vote Democrat. But if you say, and I'm not a Republican, I don't think the Republicans are going to do anything, but I think in order for you to actually get the Democrats to do something, you actually got to stand up to them. And that's something they don't expect you to stand up to them. They're supposed to be spending $25 million on advertisement to black people, the Biden administration. $25 million. They don't even have to really spend that much money because they know you coming. $25 million in terms of political advertisement ain't shit. They know that you're going to be there. They know you're going to show up because you've always showed up the last 60 years. So why wouldn't you now? You may not show up in the numbers in terms of a midterm that you would to a presidential election, but you're gonna show up. And you're gonna show up in the presidential election, and you're gonna vote. Vast majority of people are going to vote, black people are going to vote Democrat. And they already know this. So you don't really have to put a whole lot of dollars in it. I know people saying that 20% of black, and I know Larry Elder kept saying this, and I'm not sure how accurate that is, but Larry Elder said he claimed that 20% of black men in the last election voted for Donald Trump. Hell, that means it's still 80% of black men still vote Democrat. The black men will still be the second most loyal voting bloc to the Democratic Party behind black women. No other demographic in this country, 80% of them, white men, white women, Latino men, Latino women are voting, Asian men, Asian women are voting 80% Democrat. So for all the talk that people were talking about black people and how black men ain't doing this and they're still overwhelmingly Democrats. So I'm not as sure I understand the issue that when they try to guilt trip black men and talk about, well, black men ain't doing this and black men. It's a black man's fault. Because sure enough, if they lose an election, it's going to be black people's fault, namely black men. Well, the black men, if they just would have got it, you got all kind of stuff. If you didn't vote for Kamala Harris in the last election, that you were anti-black women and all kind of stuff. So you had every year it's a guilt trip whenever it's election time about what black people ain't doing, what black people need to do, and especially a guilt trip on black men. So, yeah, we can talk about the actual migrant situation. And I think you get more black people that's actually kind of waking up to it like, hey, yeah, I don't know how good this really is and how this is going to really help. But way too many black people still like, hey, we'll pull together and we'll work together and we're all in this together. Time has showed time and time again, we're not all in anything together. No group of people is in anything together with everybody else. Every group is in it for themselves. And it's time as black people to start getting into it for yourselves. The 60s showed you exactly when everybody has their hand in the pot, what happens. You know, it's dog eat dog, it's every man for himself. It's every group for themselves. Got to get out of this whole thing, this black and brown and black and Asian and all this. The Asians have showed you right now with the whole affirmative action. Even though affirmative action ain't did nothing with black people, they showing you they've been for 15 years or so. They was plotting a way to go ahead and try to get rid of it because they tell how it was discriminating against them. And still, we still haven't learned yet. Like, yo, you have to be in it for yourself and solely for yourself because every other group is in it for themselves. When they're having these things, and the Hispanic community, Latino community, they're not bringing up black people. But you can't even have a black-owned newspaper write an article that's supposed to be by black people without mentioning every statistic you got to tie to black and brown. You know damn well it's black people that have been the ones that are suffering the worst medical apartheid in this country. That is black people getting the worst of every statistical category in this country. But you got to always tie it to another group of people because you're a flunky and you've been told this for the past 40, 50 years that, hey, we got to tie this in to make everybody understand that it's okay. Giving away power, generation after generation, constantly giving away power to the point that damn near you have no more power left. The bargaining chip is all gone. So now you got to tie it to this mythical lie that the people, the undeserved communities, and all this other nonsense, just complete nonsense. And people coming over here, and you got migrants getting put up, and we did a space on that. DJ could tell you got migrants in damn Manhattan living in $700 a night hotels. $700 a night hotel. Nobody in this space will be living in no damn 700. Let you have a house. Let that house have insurance. Let that house get damaged during a storm or hurricane or whatever, and see if your insurance company puts your ass up in there. The same insurance company you may have had for 15, 20 years, 10 years. See if they go ahead and they put you up in a damn 4-star hotel, cover your food and everything else, and put you in a damn $700 on Manhattan, on Manhattan of all places. See if they do that. I promise you they won't do that. They're going to try to cheat you, and they're going to try to keep every penny they can get. They're going to try to they're going to try to make sure until every claim is unturned and everything else before they go ahead and cash that money out or whatever. Well, we can really afford to put you in a room for $120 a night. I know you got your wife and your 3 kids, but the most we can do is 120. There's 2 beds in that room, and your family can share those beds, and that's about as far as it can go. Time to wake up, black people. DJ, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, dog. Just listen to you rip the bars, bro. So you right 100% on everything you're saying. But problem is, with us as a black people, we gonna vote blue no matter who. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say it the way my sister said it, because when you speak things or say things or repeat things, it actually becomes an existence. So with that being said, it's really up to us here in this space that be up here every day talking about reparations. What I always tell y'all, hey, if the folks that's down in the street ain't talking the same language as us, then therefore meaning we're not doing our due diligence as far as at least presenting the information. So since I've been doing my QR code, I've been called a bitch, a coon, you know what I mean, a snake, a sellout, and these are coming from black people, elders specifically, you know what I mean? Saying you don't know what you're talking about, or when I speak on our sister on law situation, hey, look, New Jersey is ostracized. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. The courts can't do that. The jails can't do that. Well, how do you know? I'm only telling you the information. Ain't it up to you to go search behind me and double check and all this other stuff? So with that being said, we got a long ass way to go. This is why I had that space the other night. Reparations is the long game. Films is the way. Physical media equals financial stability. So again, Walmart made $1 billion selling DVDs in 2022. What the hell have I been doing the last 30 years? Chop liver, but hey, I've been trying to go get a loan. Trying to, all my T's crossed, I's dotted, got the business plan, all that other stuff, and I'm doing the work. Can't get a dime, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Can't get a dime, bro. And now the biggest thing that I've been experiencing out here, being an artist, being a content creator, is that people don't even want to spend $1 with you because they're utilizing this whole narrative of it's a cashless society. So no, I'm not sending you $1 through my Cash App. I don't trust you. I don't know you. But you'll come in here and get your credit card up to whatever store you're purchasing shit at. I got a PayPal credit card machine, a Venmo credit card machine. I got a Square credit card machine. What's the difference? But no, as long as they see me, the nigga, doing the work, and I'm coming at them in a respectful manner, nah, nigga, I ain't supporting you. And a lot of this rhetoric come from black folks. You know what I mean? So that's the type of stuff we got to deal with it amongst our own people. So when we say, hey, look, these migrants are selling food in the subway systems or on the streets of New York, they cooking up the piece of rats. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody eating that shit. And yeah, I think it was Trouble said it. You could get sick as hell. You could get sick as hell. This is why they throw food out at these fast food restaurants versus giving it to people, because these fast food chains have been sued for feeding the homeless food that it might have been sitting or has been out for a couple hours. They get sick as a dog walking around in soup. So this is why you can't feed the homeless and none of that other stuff out here either. You fuck around, get sued, or somebody might mess around and die. So with that being said, we need to start turning up some way, somehow. I don't know what that looks like to everybody. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what you're doing, but hey, if you feel like you like what I'm doing and you like what Black Majority's doing, you like what Newstoter's doing, you like what the liquor store is doing, shout out to Governor, I see you, brother. And you like what our people like the Negro Jamming is doing, surrounding reparations and the Black agenda and Black business, come up here on social, make yourself an account, and we can move from there. Because until we get our people that are like-minded into one particular space, or maybe 2 or 3 particular Black spaces, ain't nothing gonna move. We're gonna be here 5, 10 years from later talking about the exact same shit. Your kids gonna took over Newstoter by now. You know what I'm saying? That's how much we're moving backwards, yo. And back to the GloRilla thing, as far as what she said. Yeah, most likely she signed this 360 deal. She's being told what to say, but I don't really think so. I think this is just all self-inflicted wounds. People are doing it, whatever it is they feel like they want to do. Nobody's holding a gun to these women's head, or none of these men head that's rapping about killing each other, pussy popping, pee popping, excuse my French, and all this other stuff. Nobody holding a gun to their head and say, come on. Nobody held a gun to your head and say, hey, sign this deal. Nobody did that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, why can't they just be themselves? Nobody want to be themselves because you're too busy looking at social media wanting to be these avatars. See what I'm saying? I can't think of the name of the movie Bruce Willis did. Surrogates. There you go. I'm not sure if y'all saw that movie. That was a dope movie detailing kind of what we're talking about. How it's like, folks living a normal, regular life, but we be in these avatar states pretending to be other. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's like, why can't we just teach our kids and then start with them? We got to start really grabbing a hold of these kids and saying, hey, look, you see what they doing over here on the rap scene? You ain't got to do that. You can do your raps the way you want to do it and not actually have to be a part of this lifestyle of being in the streets or pretending you're in the streets. Because remember, a lot of these rappers out here that talk that talk, they not G's, they not Bloods, they not Crips, they not GDs, they not none of that shit. They don't even bang or none of that other shit. They don't even come from that section of the hood. You know what I'm saying? They grew up in a prominent middle class, upper class lifestyle where it's like they see what's on TV and they emulate it. Same thing with a lot of what we call tether gang. They say, hey, well, I can't associate with you as a Black American. And when you ask why, well, it's because all the negative stuff I saw on TV about y'all. Y'all act real ignorant and shit. And then they'll bring up particular shows like, don't even get me started, but they'll never mention shows like The Cosby Show. You see what I'm saying? They'll never mention, how hard we was living on a block of 227. You feel what I'm saying? They'll never mention how hard Esther had it with James trying to raise kids in good times. You know what I mean? They don't look at it like that. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? And again, if you want to try to uplift Black people, the best thing to do, if you don't want to do the work, at least invest and contribute to someone that is doing the work. And I'll yield it. Go ahead.
Real talk, cuz. Real talk. You go ahead and get some people up here, guys, because we don't keep this space going too much longer. So, who was that? Conscious Outlaw.
Yeah, I think you're having a disconnection issue right now. I was gonna say probably try dropping him because on my side it said he connecting, but his hand's still up. Hold up.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Because we got somebody else coming up here. Jay Storm. Jay Storm. Let her come up here. Jay Storm. Did you want to go ahead and speak and say something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How you guys doing? I just wanted to agree on everything that everybody was saying. Um, I have kids of my own, and I just feel like these issues are meant to be talked about, and we just gotta find some type of solution. And I just feel like with the whole GloRilla thing and with the music industry, basically, people are just doing whatever is selling and whatever they got to do to come up. Like right now, it's just all about like everything is about money. Like nobody's caring about like the real things that need to be, tended to. Everything is just about money, money, money. And then with the whole New York thing and with the immigrants, like everybody's basically working against black people. Like the system was designed to work against us. Like nobody's on our side or anything. Like the immigrants are being prioritized by the government, by the local officials and everything. So it's just a battle right now. It's hard, and I really care about like our future and the children of our future, and they're being influenced by everything that's going on around us with the social media, the sexualization in the songs, and everything with the whole LGBT agenda. It's just a lot. It's just a lot going on right now, and it's a mess. And it's just crazy. And I just don't know like where to start, because like the fight is still on. Like ever since Martin Luther King died, like we that didn't. I mean, we barely got ahead from there. Like we're still. I mean, we made a little progress from there, but we're far from solving anything. The fight is still on.
You still there? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm just thinking right now.
Okay. We go ahead and get to Trenton. Trenton, what's going on tonight? How you doing tonight, man?
What's going on, brother? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. What's up?
Yeah, bro, just like you said, man, about this black and brown. Yeah, family, my blood boils every time I hear this black and brown. When they talk about black history, they gotta say black and brown. And you talk about black history. Wait, see, when you talk about black and brown, so that includes the racist LA city councils. That's the brown people you talk about. And plus, there's brown. So you're talking about VVEC. So every time I hear black and brown, it just make my blood boil. And when you was talking about people voting, they telling us, well, don't vote for the Democrats, then who are you going to vote for? Well, okay, we'll vote Democrat, just like the Democrats down in, Georgia, Atlanta, who approved the Cop City. So when they say, if you don't vote for the Democrats, vote for Republicans, well, guess what you get? You get a Cop City with the Democrats. So we got a gun on both sides of our head. You know what I mean? So when I hear, I be trying to tell people every time when they say shit like, if we don't vote, you talking about reparations. Like, well, we talk about reparations. You don't hear Democrats talk about reparations. When you hear them, all they talk about for us is voting rights. You know what I mean? And like the sister said earlier, man, I live in Burlington County, New Jersey, in a black neighborhood. And I'm starting to see Juan and Juanita walking around my neighborhood. And I'm looking like, oh, what you doing around here? You know what I mean? And they just drowning us with these illegal immigrants, man. Drowning us, man. And they doing this shit on purpose. And I'll end with that, man. Peace.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Trenton. As always, I know you be hanging out more so now on YouTube, but glad to get you up in the in the space as well too, guys. Like I say, for those that can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Black Business Month is almost over with. So definitely for those that got $1 that you can support to us, Newstoter, Newstoter. We ain't asking for a lot, but if you got $1 or $2 that you can donate, Newstoter, Newstoter. If you don't have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron as well too. If you're on the space and you haven't been up in the space long, we got the YouTube channel on the 4th or 5th on the right hand side. Go ahead and subscribe to the actual YouTube channel while the space is actually going to. We need some more subscribers in that YouTube channel as well. I see my girl Rella is up here. Rella, what's going on tonight?
Hey everybody.
What's up?
I'm still pushing. A couple of things. I think I saw that post GloRilla made. She was telling women that they need to get into the FNF. Is that what you're talking about? Is that the post? Is that what you're talking about?
You talking about the toxic thing that she was telling women to be toxic in your 20s?
She was saying, telling girls, I saw the entire thing. She was saying, telling them to be F and F, which is F and F, if you know what F and F stands for. And so, again, I think it's just...
Say it, Rella, say it, because I don't know what it stands for.
She was telling girls to be fuck nigga free. That's what she was saying to the young girls in the post. So... Again, the language I think that the rappers are using, the younger rappers are using today, again, it's like the new generation coming up with language, and it's not appeasing to us. And so when we think about even the culture of what is today being glorified, why is it that fuck nigga free is even a thing? That you have to sing and rap about, first of all. And then second of all, why is it the culture of young people today now is to move away and separate from one another so much so that they look at each other as being each other's demise? Why is that? Why aren't we having that particular type of building conversation? Because somebody should have pulled somebody aside to say, listen, they're pushing a narrative that this is somehow the culture of the Black community, that we got fuck niggas who we need to be free of. And why is it that we're not addressing that? This goes back into that whole kind of war mindset, but it's like a new path that the enemy is literally using and utilizing. And people are falling for the trick bag because, again, we're not building like we're supposed to be on the ground. We're too busy worried about what a rapper is actually saying that actually has no edification whatsoever to the benefit of the movement that has to deal with us being in positions of authority. Rappers are going to be around. They're not going away. Luke made a comment about reparations. Y'all need to stick with the Democrats. And here it is. No one's talking about how immigrants get to come in here, and it don't matter which party they get benefits. They end up getting into the parties and becoming the majority, and they becoming the authority of the parties on the state and local level, federal level now. We got Vivek running for a damn office, and I want to put this so we can lay this to rest. Lincoln, great person. Mongoloid, and the Mongoloid people were actually Indian, and I believe European mix or something like that. I have to get the information for you, but I want to put people's radars, eyes open to let you know this isn't new. We're not living in new times. We, probably us, maybe this generation is new to us. But the times that are being replayed over and over have happened before. And I think I heard a young lady say, hey, we haven't moved since Martin Luther King. We actually did. We were staggered staggered. Because if you go back into historical records, we actually were being put into positions of authority and we were massacred out. Massacred. Every time. Because we did not, on a collective level, move into position quickly, quietly, and in places where we need to be loud, loudly. Too many people are running around, they loud, they mean to their own people, degrading their own people, and they lack information. They lack the knowledge so that they know how to move. They don't even want to collectively run together. So all the information that we speak about, it gets watered down or it gets drummed out or it gets told differently 20,000 times the more you tell it over and over, but you never come back to the group so that we can regroup, we can work out the strategies. I hear more people on spaces than I do in city council meetings or town hall meetings, school board meetings, running for office that look like you and I. Talking about, okay, well, we need to make a move to figure out how to get the numbers we need in the Black majority state movement so we can get authority. White people are talking about the Black majority state movements because they know already what the deal is. The Latinos, they already up on it. That's why you see them flooding particular states. They've been doing it. California is a large state. Flood the states. Why? Because you have delegates in each county in California that go to Washington. If your business is not to get into the business of your people, then no, you're not doing anything. We are stagnant. We have not gone anywhere. I can have a feel-good moment as long as I'm moving. And I'm not perfect. I'm going through stuff just like everybody else. I'm about to bash the entire space and get on people. That's not what this is. This is a call to say, listen, we want to see the things that we need to have in this generation. So if that's the case, we have to put ourselves in the position to move forward, and that's galvanizing on the ground level, the swell level. Otherwise, everybody in here is going to be out on their ass because they're not trying to hire us. They're not even trying to implement E-Verify everywhere. And on top of that, they're not even trying to give us resources. So if they're not trying to give it to us, we got to get into positions of authority. You cannot just stop participating in our democracy and in your daily life, in your environment, because these things are happening. That doesn't help us at all. The migrants are selling food. They get to sell food, but ain't nobody calling ICE. Ain't nobody saying this is a hazard. We need to do something about this because they're getting to do things that they not even allowing Black people to do. They arrest a man for trying to wash people windows at the stoplight. But these people can stand out with flowers and fruit. There ain't no regulations.
Hey, Rella, hold on 1 second. Hey, DJ, hold it down for me for 1 second, all right?
I'm just saying, if we're gonna if we're going to be real about what it is that we need, I'm gonna tell you right now, the biggest movement right now has to be state authority. It has to be people actually getting money in their hands, businesses spun up so that people can move. We have to develop infrastructure. Reindustrialization has to happen. And if you think it's a game, it is not. They are banking on us to being just consumers and giving our money away. And I do believe that we will get reparations. Reparations will happen. You have to get into a position to make sure that it does. So that people like Luke can go eat crow. They can go eat crow. Because the people like him is not going to get into a position for our benefit. But they'll hoop and holler and try to throw you off your game until shit happens and you start getting money. Then they're going to try to come up with some degenerate behavior for you to participate in, and then your money goes out the door with them. Pay attention to the games that's being played on you. Pay attention to the doors that people are trying to open up in this realm for us to fall into. Republicans and Democrats and any other group that claim that they are for our benefit, it needs to be on paper. Policy over party. If they don't show it to you on paper, they walk away. If you can't open your mouth and say you are an American descendant, you are a freedman, you are a Black American, FBADOS, this is what I demand. What do you have for me? Because I don't see it. You walk away. Find somebody else, or you put your money up, gather your people around you to tell you want to run. Find out when the election cycle is or whatever, and you get into the position. Because that's how dire this is. And I'll land there.
Nah, definitely on fire with that one, Sister Rella. So I'm driving down towards my aunt's house earlier, right? I see a sign on South Orange Avenue, Eastern Parkway, that I never saw before. No matter how many times I go down that road, they got a no panhandling sign right there. So basically, all Black folks be out there, some off, I ain't gonna disrespect them, call them things, but hey, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? But obviously, some are homeless too. They be out there panhandling because these cars coming off the highway, and you get to the corner, it's the light right there. So now they got a sign there that I believe, and I got to go back and look at it again, that the driver will receive a citation if you give money to someone outside of your car. Ain't that crazy, yo? But go ahead, Jay Stone.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to on what I was saying about the Martin Luther King thing. Like, I wasn't saying that we didn't move or anything from that. I was just saying that there was progress being made during that time, and there was revolutionaries, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. But I'm saying that we made progress, but not nearly enough as we needed to be at this point, and people got too comfortable, and that's why things aren't really going anywhere like how we really wanted to. Like, there's a lot of division happening. People are distracted. They're arguing with each other online, men and women going against each other, different races going against each other, and it's just a lot of distractions going on, and not enough people who seriously trying to help the Black Americans get ahead. Like, we're always being set back and pushed to the side, and nobody's really serious about getting out there and doing what she said about, like, getting into the politics and actually making things happen and putting things to the forefront and making sure that we gonna get our reparations and everything. That's all I was saying. And I completely agree with everything she was saying. Like, it's really a serious matter, and it's only gonna get worse if we just stand here and think that everything is sweet and we just free when we're really not free. The system was designed to work against us, and being comfortable is just not gonna work. We have to put in the work to see the results that we want.
You finished, sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can hear the frustration in your voice. So, we gotta just start really devising a plan to actually make sure that what you're saying and what Rella is saying and what everyone is saying to actually come to fruition. So it's like, what are we doing to actually try to get our peoples up on code? Hey, look, this is what's going on. What are you doing in your life to actually tell people, hey, look, reparations, Black agenda. What ideas do you have in general?
I mean, I try to get people on board, and it just seems like it really becomes a laughing stock or just put to the side. Like, the seriousness is not really there like how I would want it to be, and it's really sad because, people are just sheep nowadays. I really don't get it. You know, like the seriousness, like the urgency is just not strong enough. And then children, like our children's future is at stake here, and it just seems like, you know, people are like have a defeated attitude or something. Like the LGBT is taking over, you know, like, you know, they're trying to get to the children, and like, what are we gonna do about this? Like, it's just really frustrating, because it's just like, where do we start? How do we gain some type of say so and power? You know, I don't know.
Right. So with that being said, right, when you go talk to your family and your friends, the closest people that's to you, maybe even some work associates, hey, you know, reparations. What's the rebuttal they give you?
Well, some are for it, and some feel like it's impossible. So, you know, it really just depends.
Right. So with that being said, right, okay, so just to give you some selling talking points, as I like to present it, when I be outside talking to our people about reparations, I get the same pushback, but you got to understand that, you know, I guess the language would be the correct word, and the knowledge so you can push back towards them and say, hey, look, I know we're versing each other. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. I'll put it like this. I'm in my old neighborhood the other day, you know, the Weekway section right there on Bergen and Lines Avenue in North. Stepped to the old heads out there. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Got this newsletter, yada yada, reparations. So the one old head, you know, he a dope head. He want to start yelling and stuff. Oh, you with the government? What organization you with? Do I look like I'm out here with a bunch of people in suits and ties? I'm out here by myself. And don't mistake me for a minute, because you never saw me out here. I'm born and raised in this neighborhood. So you want to verse me or you want to fight me? You see what I'm saying? So once he thought about it like that, he walked off on me. So, hey fam, Newsweek put out an article. This is a white public institution. Each descendant of slave is worth $151 million. So once I start putting those type of talking points in our people's head, it's almost like a form of re-indoctrination. You got to re-indoctrinate them. Hey, look, you know, Biden gave away $350 billion to Ukraine. Ain't no tax-paying citizens over there. How is they even allowed to do that? You see what I'm saying? When no other NATO country is giving these people money except for us. See that? So when you start getting these talking points together, you can easily verse our peoples. Yeah, some of us are stubborn and as a mule. We don't want to change our mindset, even though the information you're spitting to them is actually 100% accurate. Because again, if you want to keep something from a black person, where you put it at, Jay Stone? With me, sister? Well, you put it in the book for those that are listening, you know what I mean? And with that being said, our peoples don't read political literature. We don't read any type of information that's surrounding economics and things that are going on within the black community, because we have a lot of do-for-self mindset. We have a do-for-self attitude versus a collective uplift. So if you could get, hey, well, I mean,
I'm here.
No, I know you're busy, sister, in the background. You know what I mean?
Hey, just letting you know that I'm back now. So
for sure, Newstoter. So now you can take the show back over. I was just saying to the sister Jay Storm, hey, you know, you're just going to have to start studying this information of what's going on politically, and you know, start showing it to the people like that. Obviously, it takes some footwork. It takes a couple dollars to do as well. Sometimes too, you know, like Newstoter over here, this is the most black curated news on the web. You know, we need donations and investment and funding. So, you know, what I always say to our people, if you're not going to be one of the people that's doing the work, at least invest in funding and help promote it, because promotion is free. Hey, I like this, you know, share this newscast right here. That's free. Share it to everybody that's in your contacts. Do you have a social account? Are you up on social?
No.
Okay, so you get in the little chat right here, or you get in the Jumbotron. There is a post, and I'm going to put it up here again. It says, hi, I'm a member of Funded Socially, and I think you should be too. So we're curating our information on our Black American site called Social, SOXCIAL.com, or fundedsocially.com. And I'm going to just throw it in there in the space real quick, Tyler. So if you come up there, you make an account, you'll have your own personal invite link. So we're always remember, only 10% of our people going to do the work, but even now realizing only 10% of that 10% is going to actually do the work. You see what I'm saying? Actually get out here, grassroots, organized, activists. Hey, look, this is what's going on, fam. And yeah, it's hard, it's aggravating, it's frustrating. It make you feel like you're a black sheep. I don't really talk to my family. That's my actual blood, because all I want to talk about is reparations. They could care less because they too busy being indoctrinated and not really want to do anything. Why? It's because they got jobs, they live in their life, they don't really care what's going on. All they worried about is hitting the club on Friday. See what I'm saying? But hey, what happens when you can't afford to pay your mortgage, your car note, your bills? You know, we have another pandemic that they're talking about coming through here in November, where they're going to force us to mask up. I know y'all been hearing this shit through the grapevine, through the street. It's on the news, they're talking about it. So it's like black people too busy running around, loose-minded, not understanding, hey, we need to start preparing for war. That's all it is. So don't worry about everyone trying to, that's in your inner circle, trying to come together and kumbaya. Just worry about you, your kids, and your main family that actually give a damn about you, because most folks really don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? To keep it real. Go ahead, though, Newstoter.
Oh no, I was just you was cooking. I was just to let you know that I had got back up in the space. Real quick, let me give a shout out to Sincerely Black. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App. No, I had just got back. My doggone tooth I had to put some of this little like what's the stuff the stuff you do to kind of numb your mouth up, because I got to get a crown coming this Monday coming up. Yeah, the Oragel. I had to put some of that on my tooth because I got a damn. I actually supposed to get a couple crowns, but I'm gonna get one done this Monday coming up. So I told you before I had to get the fillings a few weeks ago, and Becky or Karen kind of jacked my mouth up on the left side, so damn mouth ain't kind of been the same in terms of chewing or whatever, because I think she was in the experiment. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it where it catches food and whatnot, and I'm gonna leave a little bit of space in there. And yeah, you left some space up in there. Every time I chew my damn left side of my damn mouth, it feels funny as hell now. So now I got to go back. I'm gonna tell Karen, don't be sitting up here experimenting in my mouth. You do the basics right here. You put that damn crown in there and let it be. Don't sit up here. I'm not your goddamn flunky here. Don't be experimenting on me like that. Go ahead and do your job, what you getting paid for.
Hey, so with that being said, I got two things for you. Find you a black dentist, you know what I'm saying? And then the other thing is too, you might have what they call TMJ. You feel what I'm saying? Where it's like, because you haven't work done in your inside of your jaw, if you had certain teeth pulled, wisdom teeth specifically, and other like messed up teeth pulled, remember that's like a foundation of your jaw and your mouth. So what'll happen is it'll just cause you to chew on one side. It's the same situation I got in. And I'm not saying there's nothing you can do about it, but once they start playing around, like you said, I ain't no goddamn, a play toy or no science lab experiment. Go find you a black doctor, though.
Yeah, real talk, cuz real talk on that part.
You can also get they have the Oragel mouthwash, the 2 times.
Oh, they got mouthwash Oragel too?
And listen, that bad boy, the troops.
Hey, what's that other joint? The Sensodyne toothpaste trouble? That shit fire.
Okay, yeah, I know about the Sensodyne, toothpaste, yeah.
They have the Oragel mouthwash. They had the original one, and then they had the ×2. I've used that ×2. And it hit that bad boy, and a couple of swishes later, that pain be gone. It hit faster than that Oragel. Sometimes that Oragel will burn that area. But that mouthwash is the truth. I keep a big bottle.
Okay, I'm gonna have to switch up to that trouble.
Yeah, regular mouthwash could cause damage in your mouth too. You gotta look this shit up, man.
Well, yeah, I got some mouthwash. I think I got that one of those combo kind or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and check out that Oragel mouthwash. Like I say, I got an appointment Monday, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that taken care of, and I still got another crown besides that as well too. So I need to go ahead and get my teeth straight up here, y'all. So I had a couple fillings done a few weeks ago, and like I say, she jacked that up or whatever. So last chance here, Karen. Last chance here.
What you got? Silver fillings or mold crown fillings?
These were silver. These were silver, I think. Yeah,
Right.
they were silver. And then
Right.
yeah,
You might want to look at the mold crowning ones because them silvers they're gonna pop out in a few years, man. Versus the mold crowning, which they do eventually pop out, but they last a lot longer than the silver.
okay. I definitely got to go ahead and check that out. Anybody else want to speak on tonight, man? Good space. Anybody? I see Tweety, what's going on? I see you up in here. I see my girl Rera up in here, Black Majority State. What's up with y'all? I see a bunch of y'all up in here, the usuals and stuff. So shout out to all you that came up in the space. Carlos is down at the bottom. Goddess, I see you down there as well too, sister. Uh, like I said, we were trying to get some. We were trying to get some sisters up here as well too. And if they want to speak on the topic with GloRilla, by all means, come on up here and definitely speak. We was trying to get it in. If you want to speak on the migrant situation as well too, y'all know we probably won't be back to either Monday night or Sunday. More than likely Monday. So we do it 4 nights, normally 4 nights a week. So just trying to get it in while we could, and definitely glad for everybody coming out supporting the space as well. Nightfall says, he says, crush your aspirin into powder, dip your finger in the powder, then rub it into your gums. Let it sit on your gums for about 3-4 minutes and drink whatever to kill the sour taste. Think about that one, man. That's old school, that Nightfall. It's like that's that old school stuff you talk about there. Go ahead, Trouble.
I had my hand up earlier. I just wanted to reiterate something that you had already said.
What you eating? What you eating? Let me get some. Got you. No.
I mean, a big old cup of ice. That bad boy good too. It's crushed. Ooh, lovely.
Hold on, what you eating?
Crushed ice.
Oh, you just large jar with it. Talk about somebody eating this shit. Got the large jar. Ice.
But I wanted to reiterate what Newstoter had said earlier. Every group is moving into, we've been into a Hunger Games like situation, do or die. And so every group is supporting their own. They're not advocating for anybody else, and they're looking out for their own. And I don't know what it's going to take, but we as a people, Black Americans specifically, we need to move away from that thought process of all of these coalitions that's never fully served us. We gotta keep honing it in, and we gotta keep reiterating the fact that it's gotta be just us looking out for us, period. Stop with the black and brown and the black and the blue. Oh, okay, wait a minute, there's no blue people. But you know what I'm saying. So the black and the Asian.
That's fair. There's some blue people. Them aliens is here. Shout out to the aliens.
And if you live up north, you might get to see the Blue Man Group, but I'm just saying, But black and anybody else, that's the 52 fake out to really just push funds for other people, and we don't benefit from it in the end. So that needs to be reiterated. Something that people can do in their own communities is, if you don't have community meetings in your neighborhood, form one, or you can start with a few people. Go around your neighborhood and see who would like to start a community meeting so that you can start bringing these things in. Each one teach one. Maybe whatever it is, you and 3 and 4, 5 people start discussing, they'll start discussing those same things with people around them, and that's how movements get started. My mother always said it only takes one person to spark a movement, so why shouldn't it be you? After community meetings, because I do community meetings in my neighborhood, it's generally a lot of older people here in the neighborhood that own their own homes, a lot of the older generation. And I've met some thoroughbreds, but there's the vast majority of them do not like to move. They don't like to rock the boat. They are stagnant. They're on that Democratic plane and everything else that make you go insane. And so, but what a few of them in my community does, and I commend the women for doing it, but even though they're on that Democratic train, they get together as a group and they go to the city meetings, and they do go up there. They just, one of the women had called me and asked me if I would join their group, which I'm still debating because they kind of flaky a little bit. They kind of irritate me, but I might need to get over that and just go join with them because their voices have not been being heard, though they tried to speak. You have to sign up to be able to speak or whatnot. But you know, you do your community meetings, and then you need to take it to City Hall and start showing up at the City Hall meetings and whatever meetings is going on around your city. Be in the know, be in the building, so that whatever is happening, you have a voice in it, you have a say, or you can at least show up and groan to make it known that you don't like it, you know, something, anything. But we've got to start figuring out how to do little things that can, you know, make things pop for our own people. So I just wanted to reiterate that little bit of juice.
All right, thank you, Trouble. I appreciate that. I see, brother Moku. He gave Be More Codified gave some dental advice. He says fluoride is no good for Black people's pineal gland. It calcifies them. So fluoride, thanks. How many of fluoride is no good? Oh Lord, you know, I just had when I took my oldest boy to the dentist a couple months ago. No, the youngest went to the dentist. I think he had to get a fluoride rinse, so I got him a fluoride rinse. So I didn't know that about the fluoride, because I'm gonna be honest with that, straight up, I didn't know that about the fluoride. Shout out to Rock Roller as well, too. Rock Roller.
You can ask for fluoride free.
You say what now?
You can ask for fluoride free for yourself or in the children.
Yeah, but this came for, you know, when they take him to the dentist with my insurance, it was actually I think they have an actual fluoride rinse or I forgot what the hell it is, but it's something.
When they do the cleaning, they'll ask you, do you want a rinse?
Yeah.
It actually has fluoride, where you can ask for fluoride free rinse.
Oh, fluoride free rinse. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking you were saying? I was thinking you were saying that the fluoride was free. I'm like, huh? Like, well, okay.
And then you need to look at getting you some comfrey ointment or oil, and you can rub it around on the outside of your jaw. Just rub it around there and look up the benefits of comfrey. COMFERY.
Okay. Well,
And you know,
FREY. I'm sorry.
Back in the days, our people used, you know, baking soda and peroxide. So I mean, that's
yeah, they did do all that too. So back.
Make your own toothpaste.
Grandmama now, Trouble. Use a grandmama now.
Hey, I said back in the days, I ain't no grandmama.
But Newstoter, I wanted to piggyback off of what Trouble was saying, because it's so true. But I want people to get into the mindset of thinking of trades. When you're dealing in this work, think about what you're about to do to trade. What are you looking to gain from if you had to work with people that are in running for office that don't look like us? They have to have something for you. That is what we have not been doing with the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or the Libertarian Party, whatever other party that's out there. These people want to trade for our vote. That's how it should have been. Not we just give it up like Obama was saying. I think I have a video where he was saying, "This isn't you. You give me your vote and I do something for you." He's a damn lie. This has always been a trading democracy, a business. The only thing is we've been on a furlough, giving for free, and we have to cut that out. It's time for consequences. They have to hurt. They need to hurt, and we have to be in a position of trade. Think of when you're giving your vote away. I'm about to trade my vote for something. If I don't get nothing, I don't trade my vote. Right? I traded with the person that wants to trade with me. Think of it like that.
Yes, ma'am. Let me give a shout out to Rock Roller. Rock Roller, thank you for your contribution tonight as well too. I'm getting a lot of dental advice tonight, guys. We may have to have another like health space and stuff like that. Everybody giving like they little their ideas about the dental and everything else. So we may have to hold us a health space coming up here soon as well too. So shout out to everybody that came up in this space tonight as well too, man. Y'all make sure y'all retweet the space out too for those that didn't get a chance to come up in the space tonight as well too. I definitely, like I say, as always, appreciate everybody. That Negro has I think I put it up in the Jumbotron. Did I put the actual let me see if I can find it real quick. I want to go ahead Okay, let me see. That Negro has a change.org in there. He has a change.org in there, guys, about reparations. If you guys get a chance, it's up in the Jumbotron. I believe I tweeted it out as well. Tell me to tweet it out. You guys, if for those that can sign it, definitely go ahead and sign it. It's always that Negro is always a supporter. I appreciate the work this brother does as well too. So shout out to that Negro. Definitely appreciate you. Black majority state. He's up in the spot as well too, guys. Let's put the socials up in the Jumbotron, DJ.
Yeah, it should be there on the left hand side.
Left hand, far left. Okay, let me see. For those that have not subscribed yet, it's on the far left hand side. For those that have not subscribed, I'm going to retweet that out. This is DJ's link. I'm retweeting out. I didn't get a chance to put my link in there, but DJ got his, so I'll just go ahead and retweet that out. Go ahead, Black-owned social media platform, guys. Go ahead. Let's start supporting our people. Support Black business. Go ahead to a place where you don't have to worry about people banning you and suspending you and everything else. The worst is yet to come, unfortunately, with Elon Musk. I'm not sure this dude. How in the hell can you be a billionaire and just totally just mess up everything that this dude has touched with this app here? But yikes! People thought it was actually going to be for the better when he came, but it's just worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So definitely, we need to go ahead and start looking for a place to go to as well. Have a backup. We can get white-owned platforms. I'm sure everybody here has an Instagram account. You got a Facebook account. You probably got a Pinterest account, a Reddit account, or whatever account. It doesn't hurt to have a Black account, guys. You know, I'm just being real. I know everybody's in this space is probably pro-Black. It doesn't hurt you. You're not gonna lose any sleep. You're not gonna shrink a couple inches if you actually go ahead and sign up on a Black platform. I'm just letting you know it's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna cost you. He's not charging you anything like that. So, you know, just go and try to support as well too, because this brother does a lot. We definitely trying to get that Black majority state as well too. I'm gonna be honest, Black majority state. Part of me selfishly would like to see, and I know it can't happen. I'm here in Florida. I would kind of like to see Florida become a Black majority state. I know that's a pipe dream that can't happen, but a lot of people, when you tell you from Florida, they want to sit up here and act like you ain't no original. Like, I'm like, hold on, buddy. My people was in this state in the late 1800s that I know of. So you can go ahead on with all that. Well, it ain't that many Black Americans. It's millions of Black Americans in Florida. I don't know what y'all talking about, but let me just go ahead and put that out to you. There's millions of us. There are more Black Americans in the state of Florida than there's any other Black ethnic group in the state. I don't care what anybody says. There's more Black Americans than Jamaicans, Haitians, Africans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, whatever you want to say, is more Black Americans. People forget that you had a bunch of Black people even during slavery time. Instead of going up to Canada, was actually booking it to Florida and whatnot. So y'all can go elsewhere with all that. It ain't no Black Americans in Florida and all that other stuff. I don't know what y'all talking about. DJ, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, our people either went to Florida or they went far north of Canada and started hockey. There you go. But hey, Jay Storms, I sent you the social link if you want to sign up, Mama, and get the information up there. You know, we're posting as much as we possibly can. So thank you, Newstoter, for bigging up the Black state. The hashtag BSOA, Black State of America, where we must understand, hey, look, if we could get 1% of Black folks out of the Southern Belt to move back into the Southern Belt, we could take over and get reparations tomorrow. There you go. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, here come the man with 50 grand right here, Black State. There you go. Maybe he can break it down to us real quick before we close out.
What's up, Black? How you doing tonight?
Hey, how are you, sir? Newstoter, DJ, Miss Rella, Miss Trouble, everybody in the space. So, man, I don't know if you saw the story about the students that they pulled out of a school down there.
Yes, I saw it. Oh boy. Only in Florida. Only in Florida.
Yeah, it's terrible. So, you know, I came up, I went to a restaurant up here. It's called O'Charlie's. They sell like cheesesteaks. They're known for being in malls all over the country, but they got their first brick and mortar location here. And I'm in Pittsburgh, which is not an international city. It was black and white. I mean, period. There was no other ethnicities there, no other cultures. And I walked into that store. There was a white girl at the counter and about 10 Mexicans working behind her like the elves at the fucking North Pole. that is shocking for this city. Like I've never seen nothing like that in my entire life here. And so it's like, damn, bro, we are going to be inundated with these people. It is alarming, because like, damn, I honestly, I just can't get over it, because I know people that are in these international states and cities that you're just used to it. It is what it is. It's never been like that here, ever. So yeah, I just wanted to come up to say that there is this chorus drum beating that's coming from these black-faced conservatives that is anti-black migration. For some weird reason, they picked up on the Charles Blow book that was written, 2 years ago. And I think the Washington Post or the New York Times has put out a story about the black migration. And so these conservatives, these white conservatives, are using black conservatives as their mouthpiece, as their spokesperson. So they're using the Megan Maynor, or Mesha Maynor, the woman in Georgia who swapped from Democrat to Republican. There's some chick online who I hope she comes to our space, because she put out a TikTok video that's on that same wave with the same talking points. And so I just want to say this. Anybody, doesn't matter, black, white, Republican, Democrat, wherever they exist in the sphere of the universe, if they are talking against a black migration, they are an enemy, they are a prop, they are American, they are trying to disrupt us the way that they've continued to disrupt us over and over and over and over again. I just reposted a report by General Stanton at a contraband camp and or a Negro freedman camp in 1863, where it stated the black Americans that they were talking to said they wanted land, freedom, and independence in our own state. In our own state in 1863. So this has been on the hearts and minds of black Americans for a very long time, and it keeps getting disrupted and disrupted and disrupted, and now they're trying to position these black Democrat faces or Republicans, as the anti-black migration, anti-black state authority, and their talking points are trash. I hope this lady shows up, because I really want to just educate her. I know Mesha Maynor's not going to show up, but at least one of their proxies, I hope she shows up. So thanks for allowing me to speak.
No problem. Appreciate you for coming up here, Black, as well too. So, yeah, the black migration. That's something that people really, really need to go ahead and pay attention to, and hopefully, it'll keep building up steam as well too. You got people that's against it, but there's a whole bunch of people that support it as well too. So we'll definitely keep talking about it as well too, because that could be the next big major power play for Black Americans in this country as well too. If you ever get your grasp on that, then look out. Who knows exactly what could happen and how that could really, really impact everybody's lives as well too. So shout out to Black Majority State. Y'all make sure y'all attend his spaces on Saturday night as well too. Black, your space is what, at 8:30, 9 o'clock?
Yeah, we start at 9 Eastern Standard Time, and then we go as far as they'll let us go. They've been collapsing our space the past couple weekends, so we just go as far as they let us.
No doubt. Well, thank you, Black. Yes, on that note, shout out to Brother Moku too. Brother Moku, appreciate your contribution on Cash App too. I guess on that note, guys, we'll go ahead and we'll close the space out for the night. I appreciate everybody coming through as always. Make sure y'all come through on Monday night as well too. We will definitely be doing some trending topics and trending news topics, as well as what's going on in Black America as well too. So definitely check us out. If you don't catch it live, you can always catch the replay here on Twitter, because we always record the spaces, or you can even go to YouTube as well. If you have not subscribed to that YouTube channel, it's up in the Jumbotron Patreon, and I tweeted out. So go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm sorry, Rilla, I didn't see your hand up. You want to go ahead and say something?
It's okay. I had just put it up, and I was like, "Oh, we're getting ready to close." I just want to say, so I normally don't go into like Tariq and She's spaces, right? And I went in there late last night while I was out working, and it was some cat in his space. I think he was he had the voice of Patrick.
Oh yeah, the one they had the Patrick Star voice. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Hey, that guy been in his space. He been in there a couple times, because I heard the playback on D Tubman's channel. Yeah, he be in. I think it's been a couple times he's been in Tariq's space doing that.
Well, whoever that dude is, they need to give him his own comedy show, and it would be funny to hear him using Patrick or SpongeBob voice to talk about, all the stuff that's going on politically. But he was going in, and Tariq was like, "I need the drug dealers to stop cutting they supply with fentanyl." It was hilarious. I don't know if anybody heard it, but I just had to say that. That was funny. It was so funny. I said, this is what people be doing late at night. Okay.
Yeah, that dude, I've heard that dude voice before. He sounds just like Patrick from SpongeBob. And Tariq was just talking to him, just having a regular conversation with him. Like, yeah, that guy's been in that. He's been in Tariq's space a couple of times. He's like, oh, it's he knows, because that's what he's like. Oh, it's Patrick. I see. So yeah, he's been in there a few times. Tariq entertains him for a little while as well too. So it is kind of funny.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
But once again, guys, on that note, we're going to go ahead and close it out for the night. So y'all have a good weekend. We'll see you more than likely Monday. If we do a space on Sunday, I'll definitely send out the notifications, but more than likely it'll be Sunday. So shout out and thank everybody for coming up in the space as well too. Go ahead, DJ. You want to say something?
Hey, come to Brother Moku, be more codified, space 11:30.
Okay, y'all check that out. Brother Moku, check out his space at 11:30. And once again, guys, appreciate everybody coming through. Be safe and have a great weekend. Thank you.